Good morning, everybody. How's that for a quick little intro to get us up and running? Welcome to the first ever Monster Monday. By popular demand, it seems like we couldn't live without our 31 Days of Monsters, so we're going to continue this show with Monster Monday every Monday at 8 a.m. We're going to talk about everything that falls under the umbrella of the fantastic, whether it be monsters, sci-fi, thrillers, horror, comics. It's going to be a wide swath, so it'll leave us with a lot of room for discussion, but it'll all be under that umbrella of the fantastic. And so today we're going to be talking about The Conjuring from 2013, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, particularly modern films. I'm going to show the trailer like we usually do for 31 Days of Monsters, and I'll probably get struck for this because this is a Warner Brothers one, and they tend to go after me whenever I show anything from Warner Brothers. But I appeal it under the let me get back in here, under the fair use rule, because I'm doing commentary and using it for educational purposes. So I win these about 95% of the time. Warner Brothers can be a little tricky sometimes. But anyway, hell with them. Let's roll it, as they say.
It's 9:18. We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us. What are you guys? Oh, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Lawrence.
There's someone here that would like to talk to you.
There's something horrible happening in my house.
It's November 1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who and her family has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it? Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it takes a toll on her. A little piece each time.
You have a lot of spirits in here, but there's one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful. We have to get out of here.
That's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
I've never seen nothing like this.
I'm coming with you.
No way, we can't lose you.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams. She's standing in front of my mom's bed. Do you want to stand?
Yeah.
When the music stops, stand in the mirror standing behind you.
Damn. This is such a great movie. It is part The Haunting, the 1963 Robert Wise film, and part The Exorcist, 1973 classic film with Linda Blair. This movie is one of those few films for me that actually scares me. And when I say scares, I mean, like, it's not like the false fake jump stuff where, somebody pops out, or it's a fake scare. There is some of that, yes, but it's used so judiciously and so wonderfully that it does, it does what it's supposed to do. But The better scares are the ones where you see something and you feel the hairs on your arms go up. And this happened a couple times in this film. There's a sequence. Let me see where. Yeah. There's a sequence where the mother is locked in the basement, and they used to play this little game where you were blindfolded and you had to follow the sound of the claps. And so she clapped on the top of the stairs because she was hearing these claps down in the basement, and she's been locked in there. Something has locked her in there. And then look at that, right out of the darkness behind her. Now, there's what's behind her is the door, to the interior of the house. And these hands come out and go. When those hands came out into the light like that, I mean, the hairs on my arms just went up. The other sequence is when, well, there's actually two. There's this one here where his wife is looking past him, and she sees the body of this woman who hung herself, hanging from the tree behind him. He turns around and can't see it. That was creepy. But the biggest one of all was, you saw it in the trailer, and that was the sequence on top of the armoire, where the camera's stationary, and the little girl says, I can see her, or whatever she says there. And then that ghost thing jumps off the ottoman. But up until that moment, you're looking, and you don't really know what she's looking at. And then the camera moves in quickly on it, and then you see this dead creature up there. Oh my God. The hair, again, the hair on my arms just went up on that scene. Really, really great. What's interesting, this is rated R. And the film contains no nudity, very little profanity, almost bloodless violence. There's no smoking. I think there's just a little bit of alcohol scenes, and yet it got an R rating. R rating, and the reason the MPAA gave it that was solely for its scare factor. They said there's nothing you can cut that's going to change this rating, so they didn't appeal it. And that's one of the things I love about it, is it does lack all that stuff. It doesn't have the gratuitous sex or nudity, or even the stupid teens with the foul mouths and all that kind of stuff. This is just a straight up well done scary movie. It doesn't get much better than this. And the fact that Hollywood somehow was managed to make it in modern day gives me hope. I think I know there's at least 7 of these that are in this universe. The Annabelle series, the Nun series, and they're all part of this Conjuring universe. And I haven't seen any of the follow-ups, but I've heard good things about them. So those are things I'm going to have to explore, and we will do that together too on future shows here. But I don't want to just go in a row and do this and do it all about the Conjuring. That would be like 10 weeks worth. Get old. So we'll revisit those throughout the show. But to keep the theme going, so here's your homework for next week. We'll talk about The Exorcist from 1973. One of the first modern, probably following on the heels of Rosemary's Baby, which is another one we will cover. I want to try and get some more, I don't want to say modern, because these are 40 years old, 40 or 50 years old, actually, some of these movies. But they were trendsetters. They changed the dynamics of modern day horror films that a lot of the directors today are using techniques from. And so we're going to explore those, as well as, classic stuff, classic TV shows. We'll definitely have to hit Kolchak, The Night Stalker, X-Files, that kind of stuff. And we'll also talk about monster comics too. Why not, right? There's some good ones from back in the day that we can talk about as well. So let's say good morning to everybody in the chat. who showed up for day one of Monster Monday. Devil Flyer is here. Slam Dunk Graham, good morning. JP Roca asks, what's good? As he always does. Monday Monsters, that's what's good. Pop Culture Avenger is here. Good morning. Revan Saber, North Free. Looks like we have a lot of our regulars here. Monster Monday Madness in the morning. Gotta love it. Excellent, excellent. Harold Pridemore says, boo. Pop Culture says someone should produce a movie where the COVID jabs starts turning people into zombies. It's coming. It's the zombies that are running out and getting it. What do you know? Good things do last. Hello, all you fine people, and good morning, Graham. Good morning, Stat Zero. Dr. Mask says, good morning. Graham, hail chat, hail Monster Monday. All right, everybody's saying good morning to everybody. Dr. Mask says he saw this for the first time a few months back. Good stuff, right? Rob Brown is here. It says time for a Monster Monday. Woot. Yeah, it's a good way to start your week, right? You're coming off the weekend. Got to go back to work. This stinks, but we can start with some fun stuff. Fearless Freep is here. Says good morning to the group. Hyper Kaiju, what a great way to start the week. Excellent. I agree. Got to tell all your friends, guys, so we can build up our live watching. The shows get a lot of views later on. People, I don't think, like to get up at 8 in the morning, but you guys are the gamers. We know who the tough guys are who show up in the morning to watch it live. And I'd like to get more live people in. So, wake up your friends, say, get the hell out of bed and tune in for some good stuff. Southern Cecil says, hail Graham Nolan, hail the chat. North Free says, the people demanded it. That's right. Prater 7 says, good morning. Kaiju says, give the people what they want. Give them more monsters. I am endeavoring to do that, my friend. The Normie Nerd says, good morning. As the Kinks said, you got to give the people what they want. That's right. North 3 says, no one knows about DC Warner Brothers, LOL. Yes, I do. Culture Avenger thinks that Vera is hot. Vera Farmiga, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She was in that Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters. JP Roca says, good morning, Graham. Read my copy of The Expendables Go to Hell last night. Enjoyed it a lot. That's great. Wish I had my copy. I haven't seen it yet. Hyper Kaiju says, Expendables Go to Hell kicked ass. That was a cool book, I gotta say. Can't wait to see it. Anthony Gonzalez Clark is here. He says, good morning. George Travelos, what's happening, chat? Finally, something to look forward to on Mondays. Indeed. The Warren's tech expert, a James Wan stand-in, was hitting on one of the girls. Ha ha ha. Nice. Sad Zero says James Wan knows his horror. Yeah, I read something where James Wan had gotten a new puppy, and the puppy was like looking up at the wall and following something across his room. Sometimes, when I come across stories like that, I wonder how much of that is just Hollywood hype. Wan doing Aquaman movie was certainly unexpected. Oh, was he the guy who did that horrible Aquaman movie? Jeez. You should stick to horror. JP Roca says the witch in the tree was one of those hair-raising moments. Yeah. Well, there's Papa Rob here. How's that beautiful baby of yours doing, Rob? Sounds like Graham has hairy arms. I am not a hairy guy, but I got enough to make him go whoop when it freaks me out. Yeah, I'm with Dr. Mask on this. This is my kind of movie, not gory, but hella scary. Like Chuck says when he talks about this one, Jesus always wins in these flicks. Yeah, and I agree with Chuck that what I love in a good horror movie is someone to root for. That's what I don't like about slasher type films. You know, I like to have a heroic stand-in that I'm pretty sure is not going to get killed, but I can follow them through the horrific encounters that they go through as a viewer, and I'm stepped back from. So in this one, you know, it was pretty clear that these two people weren't going to get killed in this movie because they're based on real people and they survive. So I knew I could get behind them, and there's a bit of a safety thing. So no matter what happens in the film, you know, I can, I know it's going to come out at least not totally, not a total despair feeling at the end of it. That's why I love The Thing from Another World. You know, the military guys are our heroes and who we root for, and I like that in a film, in a horror film, particularly. And that's something about The Exorcist that I like too. You know, the hero of this movie is the Catholic priest. And in the end, he wins. Or at least God wins. Stat Zero says they have a cheaper Blu-ray collection that contains the Annabelle trilogy, 2 Conjuring installments, and The Nun. Oh, that's cool. Well, all of them are up on, I think it's HBO Max. And I know The Conjuring is also up on Netflix too. Red Brown says, I will need to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, man. Yeah, you definitely got to watch this. And do your homework and make sure you see The Exorcist by next week. Otherwise, you get detention. JP Roca says The Exorcist, another movie we watched in my film appreciation class my senior year in high school. Awesome. George Trevelos is down with monster comics. Yes, please. Excellent. As you may have noticed, I kind of like monsters and monster comics. Rob Brown loves Kolchak. Dr. Mass says, damn, haven't watched The Exorcist in like 30 years. Be interesting to see again. Pedro Wang is here. He says, good morning, Graham. Good morning, Comicsgate. Good morning, Pedro. Guy Dorian is here. He says, morning, boys. Fachita. Camp Koof. Camp Koof. I'm not sure what that reference is. Ralph Angelo Jr. is here. Good morning, Ralph. Hey, do me a favor, Ralph, and make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. It's free because not all of these will be on Facebook, because I noticed you're watching it on Facebook. JJW says, you publishing the event reminder helped. Oh, good. I always wondered if that works. Todd Habershad, again, same for you, Todd. You're on Facebook. Make sure you go over to YouTube. Good morning, Graham. I love the idea of monster magazines. Hopefully you can talk about famous monsters, creepy, eerie, and vampirella from the 60s, 70s area. I love that stuff. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. The Monster Times. We got 52 Mondays in a year. So, yeah, we're going to cover a lot of ground, my friends. Predator 7 says it's hard to get more heroic than Jesus. LOL. True that. Hey, North Free. Thank you so much for the $7.50 super chat. That is a good cigar. Cheap Stogie's question, Graham. Do you know when the next CG EVS art auction is, and will you be there? I don't know when it is, North Free. And I don't do the art auctions because I don't sell my original art. The only time I make it available is if I'll put some pieces up for my campaigns so that art collectors can have a chance for it. And then some art collectors contact me directly, but those are usually bigger ticket items. Let's see. This is interesting. JP Roca says, if you've seen some of the making of videos, they do a lot to protect the crew and actors from demons, including blessing and prayers from priests. Yeah, in the Philippines, when this thing was shown, they had Catholic priests blessing people. It freaked a lot of people out, and they were there after to kind of console and to talk to and basically get them to climb off the ledge. Pretty crazy. Rob Brown loves Howard Hawks films. Well, I do too. We all made it, even with the time change. Yay, us. Yeah, that's because we gained an extra hour. Let's see who shows up in the spring when we lose an hour. Well, Guy says the latest Conjuring movie is very well done. Okay, cool. Cool. I've heard good things. I mean, they have the same cast, the same actors are playing the lead roles, which I like. Jerry Lang, I just discovered and started watching the Hammer horror films. Such great production values on the early ones. See, I have to disagree with you, Jerry. One of the problems I have with the Hammer films is they feel cheap. I mean, I like the color and the use of blood and the added boobness, if you will, the sexiness that they added. But the sets always seem small, and they don't have a lot of the same type of what's the word I'm looking for? The way the Universal sets looked, very creepy and had a sense of scale to them. Their castles seem small and seem fake to me. Ralph watched the 3 Conjuring flicks back to back on Halloween. Nice. What was your opinion of 2 and 3? Did you like those? Because I haven't seen them yet. Steve Lowenthal is here. Good morning, Steve. Graham, what did you think of Bela Lugosi's Tales from the Grave comic book? That's the Kerry Gamble one, right? I didn't see that comic, but I did get Kerry's Bela Lugosi Dracula comic, where they tell the story, the actual Bram Stoker, but the vision of Dracula is Bela Lugosi. So, and that's really cool. I love that book. Oh, COOF equals COVID. Got it. Okay. Thanks, Ralph. Much appreciated, sir. Friedkin used to shoot guns off by the actors' ears to scare them. Oh, jeez. Hope they didn't get go deaf from that. Jerry Lang's a big fan of the Vampirella 70s issues with Jose Gonzalez's art. Oh, yeah, the Pepe Gonzalez art is freaking amazing. Liquid Blake, as far as horror type movies go, I always found The Conjuring quite calming. I would watch it as I went to sleep for a long time. I really like the scares without the body count, supernatural ones like this. Yeah, it's great. Oh, Stat Zero answering about the art auction. Take a look at Aaron's show from yesterday. Ethan said something about it in the chat. Okay, cool. But after this show. Thank you, Stat, for clarifying. Oh, there we go. Boy, Ralph got it done quick. Excellent. As far as sequels go, Conjuring 2 is pretty top notch. 3 has elements that I liked but didn't have the same feel as the first 2 movies. Felt more along the lines of the spin off movies they made. Okay. LL Stat Zero works for artist and collector alike. Was at Alternas on Saturday. Was great. Cool. Okay, cool. Triggering Google, LOL. Yeah, Pete Sammetti's a great guy, and Alterna Comics is fantastic stuff. If you guys haven't checked out their line of books, you should do so. So, okay, I think I got all our comments here. For those of you that have backed Alien Alamo, I would just want you to know I am working on the last 2 pages this week. It will be done this week for sure. And then I go on to head sketches and other assets that I need to do. But meanwhile, the coloring gets done. I have to finish writing the dialogue for the letterer, and then that'll start getting going too. So yeah, that train is moving. If you haven't backed it, please consider doing so. I'm thinking of closing the campaign November 18th. So that would be a week from this Thursday. Would be the last chance to get on board. And then when Alien Alamo becomes available in other campaigns as a side, it's going to be more expensive. So please get on there and back this comic because you're really going to want it. So next week or next Monday, we're going to do The Exorcist. Wednesday, if you guys are fans of the storytellers, I've got a really great storyteller coming on, Narwhal. He's going to come on and talk about his approaches to storytelling. He has a lot of opinions on that particular aspect, and he's really quite good. So that'll be Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Of course, the professionals on Thursday. Let's see, it's Aaron, I believe. We're doing it alphabetical now because we could never remember what the order was. So I said, we got to just go alphabetically. And that way we always know who's coming up next. So, okay, my friends, thanks for tuning in for our opening episode of Monster Monday. And I will see you on the streaming world casts or whatever we're calling these things pretty soon. So thanks again, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.